Okay.
Yes, Alan.
I can hear you.
Thank you so much.
Asante sana kwa kunipatia another opportunity on your station. Watu wanasema nakula airtime sana kwa station yako. Wanauliza nimekulipa.
Ni sawa, ni sawa.
Nimekulipa ngapi? Sasa gavana msoto kama mimi, where do I get money to pay?
Gavana iko siku.
Iko siku. So you believe in my vision?
I believe iko siku.
Ukisema you believe in my vision,
ile kidogo umepena kwa station.
Ukisema hivyo people will refuse to come to your station because wanaona nimekulipa. Sijalipa huyu jamaa.
We're talking about the problem that some African countries are facing in South Africa. Malema talked about it and he complained about it. What do you think about the complaint and the word from Malema?
Before there's a time we talked about and I called on to Malema to bring order into South Africa.
Exactly.
Because Malema is a Pan-Africanist. Yeah? He believes in the African ideologies. He believes in Africa becoming one. He believes in Africa being one of the greatest continents on earth with the greatest resources. He believes that Africa can become one of the superpowers around the globe if we consolidate all our resources together and prioritize Africa more than any other nation. So I called on him and told him, Malema, if this is what you believe in, kindly bring these people to order. Bring these people to order, because what's happening in South Africa, these guys, South Africans, some of the South Africans are demons.
Exactly.
Because it's only a demon that can do that. No human being can do that to another human being. So whatever is happening in South Africa is uncalled for. And I was waiting to hear most world leaders condemn this, but I'm yet to hear even my own president condemning this. No, is it because Kenyans have not been affected? I don't know. Maybe Kenyans have not been affected, so he doesn't really call on to that. But I'm yet to hear there is a Tanzanian president, Mama Suluhu, also give a comment on the same. I've had a couple of Tanzanians who have gone through the same, been beaten on the streets in South Africa just because they are doing their businesses in South Africa. I've had some Ugandans who suffer the same fate in South Africa again, which is not a good thing. So we fully, as a leader and as a Pan-Africanist, I also totally condemn what's happening in South Africa. And the president of South Africa must call these people to order, and specifically those people, those images that we see online that are harassing other Africans. These guys should be arrested, and be called to order, because that is not right. There are good ways, there are better ways of handling such issues in every country. Every country has immigration rules and regulations. Why can't they use those rules to deport these people back to their own countries, or rather beating them on the streets? No, because whatever they are doing is not that good. The government should pull up a special committee to make sure that they're looking into all these aspects and all these things to make sure they're bringing order in South Africa to other fellow Africans. You imagine, you say you African, you identify with my skin color, but when I come to visit you, you start beating me up. Not all these people that they're beating up in South Africa have done something wrong. There are those who have papers that have expired, and the best way is to arrest these people, take them to the immigration officers. Let the immigration decide on what to do according to the laws of the land. But beating up these people, the government allowing the native, the citizens of this country, to beat up other foreigners, and they call them foreigners, that is too wrong. And Malema talked about that. There are South Africans who don't have South African IDs, but they're claiming they're African South Africans. They're foreigners because they can't identify themselves with South Africa, because they don't have anything that can identify them with South Africa. So they're also foreigners in their own country. So if you are such a kind of a person, then you're getting someone from another country who has come to develop your own country, then you sending them off, that's not a good thing. And some South Africans have been known to be lazy. Now they're claiming that these other people, okay, they call them foreigners. They're claiming that other foreigners have come to their country, and they're taking away their resources. They're taking away their jobs.
Exactly.
But they had those jobs before those foreigners came in, and they were doing nothing about that. Those resources were there. They were not using those resources before foreigners came in. They were not doing nothing about that. Now that these guys have come in to have opened their eyes to see it's possible to use this thing to make it a phone call, or to make a phone call with this thing. Yeah, this one, to make a phone call with this thing. Now you say this guy has come to grab this. No, that is not the thing. And I believe most of these foreigners, it's not just African foreigners. We have Chinese foreigners. We have the people from East, West, and South foreigners who are in South Africa. And most of these people in South Africa are giving jobs to the South Africans. So getting these people out of the country is killing the economy of South Africa. These are small traders on the street. They make a lot of money and they give a lot of what I'll call a lot of tax to the country, and that country is what determines how South Africa becomes. The GDP of South Africa and is determined by these small traders on the streets. So sending these people out, do you have an expertise? Do you have this expertise to run that business? You don't have. So that means that the supply chain will be corrupted, and once the supply chain has been corrupted, what happens to the country? Lawlessness, unemployment. Next thing will become gangs on the street in South Africa, and that is what is going to happen next.
We heard about South Africa saying the learning institution like primary and secondary are free. Is that one of the problem that people of South Africa, they don't care about? They're too lazy.
Uh, okay, I can't say that you get information or knowledge makes people lazy. No, the knowledge does not make people lazy. In fact, the knowledge opens your eyes and your minds to do much greater things. So at any cost, the knowledge you get should make you so much hardworking because you want to get more and more. Someone opens your eyes, you know the grass that is over here, you can use this grass to create biogas. Why can't you use that grass to create biogas? So that means that the knowledge is opening up your eyes to do something much bigger than whatever you ever thought. So I cannot say that the free education system and South Africa is helping these people to become lazy. No, that should be opening more opportunities for South Africans to become much better and much hardworking. That is something that most of the countries will expect in Africa, to just have that free education. That's the free primary and secondary school education, you know. And once people have that, it makes it much better for them because now the knowledge is with you. Each and every person has the capacity to gather free knowledge and use that knowledge to do whatever they want. So that is not an excuse for South Africans. They're just lazy because they want free things that comes on a silver platter, but it doesn't work that way in this world that you're living in. You have to create things out for yourself. With the knowledge you have to apply that knowledge. You have to sweat to get things right.
Is this what Mandela fight for?
This is not what Mandela fought for. And that's why he said Malema, who stands for Mandela, who says that that's not what Mandela fought for, should be very much vocal and end this thing as soon as possible. And the African countries, the AU should also condemn this. I've not had the AU African Union speaking about this. Exactly. They should come in and speak about this and condemn these acts that are happening in South Africa as soon as possible. They should have given a statement about it, but they're quiet about it. Why are they quiet about it? They should be talking about this because this is not right. What about other nations, other countries that harbor South Africans start doing the same thing, beating South Africans off their country? Now we'll have a bigger problem than what you're having currently.
I had a minister from Ghana, Ghana saying eye for an eye.
Yeah, if we start saying an eye for an eye, a hand for a hand, a finger for a finger, a tooth for a tooth, and all that, now we are losing it. No one will be helping anything. You can't quench fire by lighting another fire in the very fire. It doesn't happen that way. So all of us, I believe all these countries have consulates in South Africa, and South Africa have consulates in other countries in Africa. Now this should be more of a government to government talks now. Yes, they sent their envoys, not convoys. They sent their envoys in South Africa. Sit down with the South African government of any other person who has been affected. Can they sit down and discuss these things out? Can they provide a solution to the problem that South Africans are facing? That will be much better approach, more than an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, whatever, a deer for a deer, whatever that is and all that, because that will cause a lot of problems. So is South Africa among the African countries? It's in Africa. Or if South Africa is its own continent, they should alienate themselves from Africa, and we'll know that South Africa is a different continent, and we will respect them with that. We need a visa, all those things to go there, that stuff to go there. You plan yourself to go there, but as long as they're still within Africa, I think they should be very much careful with what they're doing, and they should ask for forgiveness. They should write to the consulates of the countries that have been affected, the people that they have beaten up, and ask for forgiveness for that.
Thank you so much, Alan, to our studio. Thank you so much for your time that you are taking in our studio. Until we meet next time, thank you so much for everyone. Remember to send your comments, give your support. Safari International Media, Safari TV, 97.5 London, Bigger County. Stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.
Yeah, if you follow Safari Media on all their platform, YouTube platforms, that is, or social media platforms, subscribe and support them. The number that is down there. If you have something that you can send, and you have anything that you wish Safari Media, that is James Egese, can advertise for you. It's good for you to reach up to him. Use that number, call him, text him on whatever platform you would. Just make sure you're following up with everything that he pulls up, and it has been thank you so much, Jamal, for the invite. You can also follow me on all my social media platforms. My name is Alan Hoy, Alan Hoy TV, CEO of Alan Hoy TV. And follow me on all my social media platforms as Alan Hoy. Let's have an engagement. It's Africa, and Africa matters. Africa matters.